Hello everyone, good morning to all. Welcome to today's webinar hosted by FX Polytechnic College. This webinar conducted by Department of Mechanical Engineering. Our department has started in the year of 2006, has 3 intake and all the faculties has finished PG program with well equipped lab facilities. Now we are presenting this webinar on thermal energy management system presented by Dr. S. Muthivel, Assistant Professor, Kalasalingam Academy of Research and Foundation. Now we will turn the time over to Professor S. Muthivel. He completed UG in MEPCO and PG in NIT Trichy, and he completed PhD in PCM and thermal energy storage application. And he frequently published articles in reputed journal. Dr. S. Muthivel having 14 years teaching experience. So I hope this session is going to be very useful for everyone gathered here. If any queries, you can chat at the end of the session. Now I hand over the session to our presenter. Thank you once again for your participation.
Very good morning. I am Muthuvel, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Kalasalingam Academy of Research and Education. I am very happy to meet you all in this webinar session conducted by FX Polytechnic College. This session today we are going to discuss about thermal energy storage system. Really it is a very interesting topic. Hope all of you will enjoy the session. Please. Discuss about thermal energy storage system in this webinar series. Thermal energy storage system is not a new topic. It was already followed by so many strategies, but today we are going to completely focus only on phase change material. So the content layout in the webinar series presentation are: first, introduction to thermal energy storage system. What are all the types of storage systems and the important parameter, latent heat storage. Finally, phase change materials and its application. Some case studies are there. If time permits, we shall move to some more presentation also. Depends on the time. Let us study the case study applications. The first thing we have to answer is what exactly thermal energy storage means. So thermal energy storage means it is like a battery, either in a mobile battery or your clock battery. In the battery also, the energy is stored. In the battery, normally we do reserve or store electrical energy, but the thermal energy storage system, heat energy is going to be stored. The heat energy storage system first, it depends upon the thermal daily, weekly and seasonal basis, because thermal energy is helpful for balancing between the supply and demand of energy. As a battery, we cannot easily store the thermal energy because thermal energy is a low grade energy, whereas work energy or electrical energy are high grade energy. So we can store in a small place. But whereas in the low grade energy as a thermal energy, we need to find so many opportunities, and so many opportunities are there for approaching the storing thermal energy. The third point, thermal energy storage system completely deals with the storage of energy by meaning of cooling, heating, melting, solidifying or vaporizing a material, and the thermal energy becomes available when the process is reversed. So the mentioned all the processes are phase change process or temperature drop or fall processes. This curve will help you to understand the thermal energy storage mechanism or the science behind the storage medium. The graph we have shown from point O. In the y-axis, it starts from O, goes to A, and the flat curve B, from B to C, C to D, D to E. So starting from O to E, here we have shown a graph. X-axis heat added, y-axis temperature. Let us start from the thermal energy storage. Say point number O, the object or the substance is in solid phase. When it comes to A, let us assume at a state O, the temperature is roughly 5 degrees Celsius. When I apply heat, the heat is keep on moving in the slanting line and stops at state 10. Temperature 10. So the temperature 10 means it has reached the saturated temperature of melting. So now the melting process commences. It ends at point B. So the point, what I want to here explain by this curve is heat energy storage can be classified into two major categories. One is sensible heat energy and another one is latent heat energy. In the sensible heat energy storage, there is a temperature rise. For example, in the graph, we have shown three portions are sensible heat energy. O to a slanting line. So temperature rises. B to C, temperature rise is available. D to E, temperature rise is modified. Instead, A to B, it is a completely horizontal line. Below the line, they have mentioned solid liquid. And C to D, a horizontal line. Below that, they have given liquid vapor. So we have to understand that the temperature rises. The temperature starts from 0 degrees Celsius and they end at 25, heat added starts from 0 kilojoule and ends with 25. While keep on adding, both temperature rise also happens at some particular point. And constant temperature also can be maintained. Instead of maintaining constant, while maintaining at constant temperature, the phase of substance happens, either solid to liquid or liquid to heat. So you can understand from the curve that at 10 degrees Celsius, the substance starts melting. So immediately 100% of the substance won't become from solid phase to liquid phase. 10%, 20% becomes liquid, 50% solid, 50% liquid. Adding heat at one particular point, 100% of the substance is converted into liquid. Again, we are adding the heat. Now the temperature starts rising towards the upper direction. This is called again sensible heat. So sensible heat, latent heat, sensible heat, latent heat, sensible heat. So a substance starting from a solid and end to a superheated portion, there is a temperature, heat is added. So the substance absorbs the heat Whenever the time or opportunity arises, it releases the heat, whatever it stores. Above the graph, they have shown a formula. Okay, leave it about the formula. The first point formula they have shown O to A, Cp into delta T. It means the formula for calculating the temperature of uh, sensible heat during O2A. Again latent heat. Again sensible heat formula. Again latent heat formula. Again sensible heat formula. So 3 sensible heat process, 2 latent heat process are shown in the graph. Now you take the knowledge gained in the previous slide to here. So now the substance is going to get charged with either heat or cold, whatever it is. But we shall go with, since it is a thermal energy storage system, I go with the excess heat. The excess heat is stored by means of charge. The second yellow color line is charging. So the excess heat is completely stored to the stored medium. The medium may be whatever it is, but for the particular application, it has to compatible. The stored energy is again discharged. This is a basic methodology of process flow in a thermal energy storage system. Now next question is coming. When the material gets charged or when it is discharging the stored energy. Now before I am answering, the slide we have shown here that thermal energy storage can be stored with many number of applications. The more possibility for the yellow color, very big line, latent heat storage. So latent heat storage is the normally nowadays we are following for the storage of thermal energy. And one more thing, combination of latent heat energy as well as sensible heat energy. Predominantly, we apply latent heat storage system for heat energy or thermal energy storage system. Okay, we know the sensible heat storage. Sensible heat storage means storing heat by rising heat or by rising temperature. So latent heat storage means change of phase. Here we have shown just the ice cube starts melting. So ice cube melting is just a normal phenomenon. But if you are able to store the thermal energy, we can easily retrieve the supplied thermal energy for the phase change of here ice cube is shown, whatever the material. Here the mechanism shows that the same mechanism absorb, store and release. So how do I, when can I absorb, when can I release, again when can I become to the proper original system. So phase change material can be classified into 3 major categories. One is organic phase change material, another one is inorganic phase change material, the third one is eutectic phase change material. Organic and inorganic phase change material can be classified based on the carbon content of the particular material. If in the carbon is available means, which is called organic phase change material. If carbon content is not available, either salt or inorganic salt means, we can say it is a inorganic phase change material. Selection criteria for phase change material is the very important topic we supposed to discuss. It will apply the answer for the previous two questions. When the phase change material or energy stored is released for the useful applications. First point, melting temperature. So before going to apply my phase change material for particular application, we should refer what is the weather condition of the particular area. So for the whole year, what is the maximum temperature, what is the very low minimum temperature, what is the average temperature. So we have to select always the phase change material related to the average melting temperature. The next one is very important one is latent heat of phase change process, latent heat of melting or latent heat of vaporization. That is a very important parameter because when the phase transformation takes place, how much kilojoule of energy is stored by the mass, 1 kilogram of mass. So unit is kilojoule per kilogram. Either we can show it as a HL minus HF. Mean enthalpy when 100% is converted into liquid. So how much heat energy is required to transfer phase from either solid to liquid or liquid to vapor. Why we are always mentioning here solid and liquid means you go and select the material depends upon the melting or vaporization which you require for the particular application. Depends on you can select. The third one is thermal stability and mechanical stability. How stable the process it is. Sometimes the melting point also will not occur at a particular point. So proper characterization is very important before applying the phase change material. Very important other parameters are how much easily accessible the material. Suppose if my material is easily accessible in my application area, for example, now I am applying in Tamil Nadu, then the material must be available either near Tamil Nadu or in Tamil Nadu. For the particular application, I cannot go to foreign country and all. So because it takes more time for the incorporation or installation of my application. The second point, cost is also important. The first point, melting point. So the application point is, so I want to maintain the temperature at 28 degrees Celsius means you go and select a phase change material which has the saturation temperature of exactly the particular 28 degrees Celsius material. So many materials are available that you have to surf what are all the materials are available. You can select the 28 degrees Celsius. Second, it should have high latent heat of phase change or melting. So the material for melting, while melting, how much heat energy is stored by the material. And one more point is also important, that is cost. Say assume two material A and material B. Both are melting at 29 degrees Celsius. Both have, material A have latent heat of melting is, they assume 200 kilojoule per kilogram. Another material have 300 kilojoule. Material B have the latent heat 300 kilojoule per kilogram. Whereas obviously I will go to the material B because it has high latent heat. But unfortunately, if the cost of the material A is 30 degrees Celsius and material B is 300 means your cost is very important. So at the time, I must go for phase change material A. So these are all the major portions or major parameter we have to prerequisite for the application of phase change material. Okay, again, it is a latent heat of enthalpy. So many materials are available. What are all the materials? And everything here they have mentioned. Hydroxide, chlorides, carbonates, fluorides. So many materials are available. Depends upon your melting point, you can go and select the material. Now let us come to the first type of phase change material, organic phase change material. Organic phase change material which contains carbon. The main demerit is that the material is available with a range of 0 degrees Celsius to 200 degrees Celsius. The majority of organic phase change material available for our present day applications are paraffins and fatty acids. So paraffin wax is at very more number of melting point it is available. Depends on our application, you go and select the material. So here they have given a formula for the particular material and all. Okay, it is beyond the portion. Now let us come to the application point of view of phase change material. So now it is a thermal energy storage system. Here we have the system shows that it is a hybridized power plants. One is solar power plant, another one is simple Rankine power plant. In the solar power plant, we all know that solar beam radiation is available only for 8 hours. But the thermal power plant completely runs for 24 hours. So how do merge these two portions? So the final outcome of the particular project is that I want to reduce the quantity of coal fired in my boiler. How do I achieve? So here, so some yellow color left hand side, yellow color shape parabolic trough solar reflectors are available. Some numbers here shown. So that depends upon the application. We can install so many parabolic reflector. So this parabolic reflector, we shall allow any material. The material should not change one phase to another phase. So at the particular pressure, the material or a substance going through the reflector. So that the reflector, the medium stores the thermal energy with the help of parabolic reflector. So high temperature or high thermal energy material is coming to the green color, which is going to store as here we normally mention it is a thermocline storage. So the thermocline storage stores the thermal energy. From the thermocline storage, the more quantity of thermal energy stored on the daytime. When I want to release the thermo from the thermal energy after sunset, during night time or before the sunrise time, the thermal energies keep on released from the stored material, because when it is thermal energy is released, the reverse of phase transformation takes place. The excess thermal energy is used for reheater, superheater, air preheater and generator. All the excess thermal energy is taken care by energy stored by the thermal energy by solar parabolic reflector. Simple Rankine cycle is also available. The simple Rankine cycle, we have boiler. The boiler, we are going to use coal for the combustion process. The advantage of hybridizing with solar energy is here I can reduce the quantity of coal uh, need to combustion need to use in my boiler. That is the main advantage. So if I reduce the quantity of coal, so now I can reduce indirectly I can reduce the flue gases released from the plant. So I can save carbon greenhouse gas effect related demerits can be avoided with the help of thermal energy storage. So the point by this diagram is that solar energy is stored with the help of parabolic reflector. The stored energy is stored by phase change material or any thermal energy storage material. The thermal energy storage material releases the heat energy when the sun is not available. So the Rankine cycle can run 24 hours with the help of thermal energy storage medium. They have given transportation and cold chain. Other than the major power production application, we can go to the many number of application of our thermal energy storage system, particularly electronic equipment. Electronic equipment cooling can be done with the help of phase change material or any other thermal energy storage material, either by sensible heat variation or latent heat variation, plus medical applications. For medical transportation also very useful for with the help of phase change material. Green buildings is a very essential application we do go, because nowadays the urban areas a major problem occurs. The major problem means in the urban areas constructions are done with densely packed constructions. So the solar radiation on the daytime when it comes on the concrete, so it stores the energy and releases with the densely packed construction. So the urban heat is somehow higher compared to the suburban areas. So that is why nowadays all the new researchers are going on the area of urban heat island. So the urban heat island can be reduced with the help of thermal energy storage materials. So many mechanisms are available. You go with any thermal energy storage mechanisms. So how to apply the thermal energy storage? So let me cross check whether all the question I asked are answered or not. So phase change material means I told you that 28 degrees Celsius. So when the daytime temperature goes 29 degrees Celsius means the material starts melting. So 100% of the material is gets melted, and then again sensible heat is increased to 30, 31, 32, 33. Now the after sunset the temperature is keep on decreased to high temperature to low temperature. First, the sensible heat energy stored is released. The second, latent heat energy. How it transferred means, now the instead of melting, solidification reverse processes takes place. So liquid phase is converted into solid phase. Now, whatever the energy stored on the morning time is rejected to the atmosphere or surrounding where you have applied. So the surrounding receives heat from the material and uses for the application what it requires. This is the basic mechanism of phase change material. So when the temperature goes to 27 degrees Celsius on the substance, so it is purely solid medium. So 27 solid, 28 is saturated melting point, and 29 is the 100% of the substance is completely converted into liquid and rise to 1 degree Celsius higher than the saturated temperature. How to apply? Suppose if I want to apply, let us take some other applications. So in the single webinar, it is difficult to discuss the complete applications of either electronic or some other applications, either whether in a green building application or, for example, nowadays solar dryer also we can store the energy. So the solar dryer is used for agricultural purposes. The dryer helps to dry the agricultural products with the help of solar energy. So the solar dryer normally works when the sun is at the daytime. But if I pack phase change material in the solar dryer along with the products, phase change material also absorbs the thermal energy. Example, normally the thermal energy is, normally the solar dryer is coming to the off condition at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock means at the time you can uncover the phase change material. So whatever the thermal energy is stored on the daytime, it is rejected inside the solar dryer. So the agricultural product can dry beyond particular temperature also. So this is the phase change material application in the solar dryer. Similar sort of applications require efficient application also. How do I apply phase change material or thermal energy store in an efficient manner? So phase change material, if I purchase 1 kilogram, so instead of applying 1 kilogram on the particular portion, it is difficult for me because depends upon the heat transfer application. Only the surface area open to the solar energy is very less. At the time, I have the inner core portion of the 1 kilogram packed is not open to the atmosphere. So the portion is, even though it is packed in the particular application, cannot absorb the thermal energy. So the best application is encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? The encapsulation means now we are going to cut the phase change material or not, we are not going to cut. For our understanding purpose, you can take it as a encapsulation as like a tablet, tube tablet. The tube tablet, the medicine or chemical is inside the tube. So over the tube, they have some separate material, but which is cover the chemical material. The same thing here also we are going to follow. The phase change material is going to take as a core material. Over the core material, we are going to keep some solid shell material. The melting point is higher than the phase change material. So that is called phase change encapsulation. So the first one, they have shown a red color. The second one, when heating, it becomes liquid fissile. So first it is solid fissile. The second point, it becomes liquid PCM by heating. When it is releases the heat, again it comes back to red color, solid PCM. Now the cooling takes place. So the heating, cooling. When it is the solid to liquid, liquid to solid takes place inside the shell material. So what is the size of the shell material? It depends upon your micro encapsulation or nano encapsulation process we are doing. What are all the encapsulation processes are available? So many processes are available. It is completely chemical. It is nowhere related to mechanical engineering. Anyhow, the thing is that the material is going to covered with a pure core material that is always solid. The solid liquid transformation takes place at the inner portion, like in the red color, blue color, red color diagram. Okay, these are all the components. Challenges. Material compatibility is very difficult. Sometimes I want to apply in the green building or any building, but there is not a fire safety because it means there I cannot apply my organic passage material. There I have to go for inorganic passage material. Sometimes inorganic passage material have corrosive disadvantages. So passage material, even though it have major advantage of thermal energy storage, it has some disadvantages also. So that is the point where we have to take care. That is the points are here listed out. On what methodology we are going to package, what are all the costs, how it is available, easy availability, particularly the health, safety and the disposal of the passage material or material what we are going to select for our applications. It is a comparison of water-based and PCM-based packaging. Water also absorbs the heat. PCM also absorbs the heat. But compared to water-based, PCM-based is comparatively higher and somehow low cost. You can see the example number 1, example number 2, example number 3. And also it capable to store the material for larger time. Water-based, the first diagram it shows qualified duration at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius is for 48 hours. Water-based, whereas in the PCM-based, 72 hours. Similarly, you come to the last portion, total cost of ownership. This is $106 if they have mentioned. Here $97 they have mentioned. Cost wise as well as quantity of heat observation wise, this changes high usefulness compared to our conventional thermal energy storage mechanism. We can also use the mechanism of thermochemical energy storage also. Storage based researchers are moving on the particular path. Is the main concern is that the world energy consumption, 58% of the depletable energy resources we majorly depends on the non-conventional or conventional energy resources like solid, liquid and gaseous fuel. So obviously after 25 years, we hardly found this sort of fuels. You may see that the green building purpose, 40% of the energy is fully goes to buildings. In the buildings, the cooling purposes or air conditioning purposes comparatively higher than the other resources. So using thermal energy resource, whatever the energy we can reduce for the building sector or construction, we can do very good for energy conservation. The applications of PCM, the major applications of PCMs are construction, medical packaging, textile, automobile, transportation, food packaging, even you can add electronic cooling plus solar agricultural products. Wherever possible, we can go. Even mobile phone cooling also can be done with the help of paste-in material. So researches are going on the emerging areas of application of the paste-in material. So the first important thing before going into the application, we must select the proper paste-in material. This sort of graph is necessary. That is the top one, high temperature throughout the year. Not throughout the year, sorry. They have taken a survey for 15 plus 11, 26 years. So they have taken 26 years. Then they define that the value is approximately 38 is the maximum temperature for India. And minimum average temperature is falls under either 25 to 26 degrees Celsius. So if you want to choose a paste-in material for building cooling, means the paste-in material melting point must be between 26 to 38 degrees Celsius. Then only the output is useful parameter. You can arrive a usefulness when you select the melting point between low temperature or low average temperature to high average temperature. I cannot select melting point less than 25. I cannot go to 38 and above. As I said earlier, more number of organic as well as inorganic paste-in materials are available with a melting point range of 30 to 29 and also heat of fusion. But price is also very important before selecting the paste-in material. See, 200 heat of fusion, N-octodecane, $110, whereas rice bran distilled fatty acid is $1. 1% of the price of N-octodecane. So we have to select the material based on melting point, heat of fusion, availability plus price. That is very important. The top curve is dynamic differential scanning calorimeter measurement curve of, here the material is rice bran distilled fatty acid. So this characterization is very important before going to the application. The characterization will give the parameter of where exactly the melting starts, where exactly completely the melting closes. Similarly, while cooling, where exactly the solidification starts, where exactly solidification ends. So endothermic exothermic reaction pattern can be measured with the help of DSC measurement curve. The bottom portion is for a different different phase change material, calcium chloride hexahydride. So one is organic, bottom is calcium chloride is inorganic phase change material. Okay, I don't want to discuss about the numerical analysis detail available in the slide, and this slide is very important. The slide will give the clear idea about the application of phase change material. So three curves are available: temperature versus time. The black color curve is ambient temperature or atmospheric temperature. So for example, see 10 o'clock to daytime 10 o'clock to around 3 o'clock, the temperature is 36 degrees Celsius. Any one testing day, either maybe it is winter or summer, that doesn't matter. 36 degrees Celsius. The red color middle line is testing cubicle for a normal construction. Of course, normal construction also is a thermal energy reservoir. That is why it won't allow beam radiation coming from the solar rays to on our head. It obstructs some solar energy it receives and will reject on the evening. That doesn't matter. But even at 3 o'clock, the temperature is 31 degrees Celsius approximately. 31 or 32. The red color peak goes to 30 degrees Celsius. 30 degrees Celsius. The important thing here we have to notice is when you are packing with phase change material, the extreme bottom line, the triangular marked line, that is PCM packed test cubicle line. They're exactly a horizontal line. It says that on the daytime, the PCM packed construction or building or cubicle maintain a constant temperature which conditions the room without the help of either air conditioner or air cooler. So that is the important detail we must understand from this slide. So they might have taken like this sort of setups. A is rice bran distilled fatty acid, and they have used construction for hollow block and some thermocouples. Thermocouples, they are keep on taking with a 5 minutes gap. By this reading, they have drawn the graph which we discussed earlier. Almost same pattern. The daytime 10 o'clock to evening 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, the temperature, either atmosphere or normal room, is higher than the PCM packed building. So that is the main advantage of thermal energy storage system. Obviously, whatever the energy stored on the daytime definitely will be released to the same room when the temperature goes below the saturation temperature. Atmospheric temperature goes less than the atmospheric saturation temperature. See here, the room temperature after around 20 minutes, 8 o'clock. Night 8 o'clock, the temperature atmospheric is 28, whereas PCM packed is 32. So it says same. Whatever the thermal energy absorbed on the daytime, now it is getting released, and the change of phase from liquid to solid, reverse direction phase change transformation takes place when the ambient temperature go lower than the surrounding phase change material saturation temperature. all the curves are showing the same thing. Here, accidents in firework industries, like so to avoid the accidents, we can use sometime inorganic phase change material also, because it retains the temperature almost less than the normal room temperature. Compared to non-PCM pack, PCM pack will give a low temperature. At these sort of places, we must we must clearly ensure that we have to use only inorganic phase change material, because here organic means the carbon content will provoke the, when fire accident happens, it also will so micro encapsulation is very important. So when you can select so many research ideas when using phase change material or thermal energy storage medium. Say one is without PCM, one is with the PCM but macro PCM packed bed. Another one is same volume of space, one test cubicle, but with micro encapsulated phase change material. You can go with another test cubicle with the same melting point, but higher latent heat of fusion or lower latent heat of fusion for our comparison basic studies. The figure E, the E mentioned that micro encapsulation process is a chemical process. Even though it is a chemical process, the process is simple. Even a mechanical engineering student also easy to handle, provided the procedure is clearly clearly understood with the help of any, either by chemistry recent published journal or any other textbook. So many micro encapsulation processes are available: in situ polymerization or coastorization and salt gel method. All the methods we can go for micro encapsulation of the phase change material. So when the macro is converted into micro, the size will become into 10 to the power minus 6 mm. So it is almost like less than the sugar or sand. So it is very helpful to improve the heat energy absorption and release. As we already discussed, it is a phase change material. The core inside the shell material, the core material, phase transformation, solid to liquid, liquid to solid will take place. So no more extra problems are available in our micro encapsulation. Thermogravimetric analysis is very important because two important parameters are available. One is thermogravimetric analysis clearly indicates when the material completely get collapsed. That is analyzed with the help of thermogravimetric analysis, TGA. And one more important thing, the solid to liquid, again liquid to solid. This is a one cycle. How much cycle the material is capable to absorb the thermal energy from the system or system. So that is very important. That is also has to be characterized before the applications. Now, one more important thing here I have not included in the slide, that is urban heat island. That is if you go and select updated researchers in patient material, means they are applying patient material to suppress the effect of urban heat island. The urban heat island means a city, some cities like densely populated or packed cities, they feel high temperature on the daytime compared to suburban areas. The reason is that the buildings are packed or compared to suburban areas or small cities, the population of the buildings is very closely packed. So whatever the solar energy falls on the earth, the complete energies on the particular portions, the hot spots, the energy is received and it cannot be reflected back again, because one more building absorb and it reflects, one more building will absorb. So the comparatively the temperature of the urban heat island is higher than the suburban areas. Even though the rise in temperature is 1 degree Celsius, anyhow we have to remove the particular problem with the help of thermal energy storage system. For example, in India, cities like Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, New Delhi, Kolkata, all the places compared to other cities, here all the constructions are closely constructed. There is no empty place and there is no green land. So we have to face the problem, that urban heat island. Already in the foreign countries, Seoul and one more other US countries and all, they have started the study of the urban heat island problem, how to reduce the temperature with the help of thermal energy storage system. So that is a new emerging area for the application of thermal energy storage system. So reduction of thermal energy storage system. They have taken, when we have taken the review of US city, the temperature is almost constant. Even though the atmospheric temperature is varying, the complete temperature of the 24 hours, the room is maintained on the same temperature. From night 12 o'clock to next day 12 o'clock, the temperature is exactly horizontal line. The urban heat island and the related curves I have not discussed here. Anyhow, this is also a new, those who are interested in our participant on the research area, you can go with the patient material or thermal energy storage system plus urban heat island. So urban heat island can be reduced with the help of so many strategies, not only by PCM. We can go with some composite materials other than the conventional construction material, like WPC, wood plastic composites, which has very less thermal conductivity and also absorptivity. And another one, cool paints. So many techniques are available. So whatever we have to use to reduce the temperature also by temperature reduction, we can feel the comfort area. By maintaining the comfort, we can reduce air conditioner equipment like active electrical energy consumption. So when I reduce the active energy consumption, obviously the greenhouse gas energy emission, carbon dioxide emission is somehow we can reduce. Thereby we can save our earth as well as people. So with this kind note, I would like to close my session. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you all. I also thank for giving the opportunity to me for giving a presentation in this webinar. I thank management of FX Polytechnic College and Department of HOD Department of Mechanical Engineering FX Polytechnic. Thank you very much, and I also extend my special thanks to Mr. Manihandan. I request all the participants, if in the small discussion, if you have any queries, please text your queries in the chat box. Let me try to answer if I know. Else, I'll try and I'll give you the answer soon. Please note down my mail ID s.muthuvel@klu.ac.in. So it is mentioned in the first slide. Else, I'll give you s.muthuvel@klu.ac.in. So thank you one and all. I expect your queries. Thank you.
Now it's a time for vote of thanks. Great, thank you everyone. We appreciate you being here. We want to thank our chairman Dr. S. Klitus Babu and Managing Director Mr. C. Arun Babu, and also thank our principal Mr. D.P. Rufus and webinar coordinator Professor M. Manigandan and our department head Professor S. Namachivayam as well. Dear participant, kindly fill up the feedback form and get your e-certificate. Thank you once again for joining us today. We will see you next time.
Come, join, arise and shine.
Wish you all the best.
FX Polytechnic College, Tharuvai, Tirunelveli, 8 km from New Bus Stand.